Good morning, church, and welcome to this week's Take 5. Thanks for spending 5 minutes of your day with us as we continue our study on Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. So last week, Jen introduced us to this section where Jesus is teaching on the subject of worry. So let's go ahead and pick up where she left off. We're in Matthew chapter 6, verses 28 through 34. Jesus says, "And why do you worry about clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow? They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow was thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, you of little faith? So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." So let's take a look at the word worry. It comes from an old Anglo-Saxon word, which means to strangle or to choke. So let me ask you, church, have you ever felt choked or strangled by worry? Well, I'll just be honest. I'm a worrywart, and I've spent many sleepless nights worrying about things that were simply out of my control. But what about you? What keeps you up at night? The bad test results, a broken marriage, a wayward child, rising debt, the crippling loneliness, the what ifs and the what could have beens. No doubt about it, life gives us so much to worry about. Most psychologists today agree that America is in this state of perpetual worrying, and it's creating a culture of anxiety. Research tells us that worry affects our daily life so much that it interferes with our appetite, with our sleep, with our daily lifestyle habits, with our job performance, and certainly with our relationships. Yet in the end, we all know that worry, it won't stretch our bank account, it won't keep cancer away, and it won't restore a relationship. It will, however, ruin our day. It will alter the way we interact with others, and eventually it will stifle our relationship with God. Church, did you know that worry is intentional? The word worry means to allow one's mind to dwell on trouble or difficulties. And when Jesus tells us not to worry, the implication is that we have control over whether or not we do. So if worry is futile, why do we spend so much time doing it? And if worry is intentional, how do we stop? Well, do you remember the story when Jesus and his disciples boarded a boat on the Sea of Galilee and set sail for the other side? At some point during the night, this violent storm kicks in and it tosses the boat to and fro, waves crashing over the sides. Jesus' disciples become frantic and panic-stricken, and they go in search of Jesus. And when they find him asleep in the boat. So here's the thing that I want to know, church, and I suppose you probably do too. What is the secret to sleeping in the boat? How do we maintain peace in the midst of all of our chaos? Well, I think the answer can be found in Jesus' question. You see, after calming the storm with a simple spoken word, Jesus asked his disciples, "Where is your faith?" And he asked the same question of us this morning in this passage from the Sermon on the Mount. Where is your faith, church? Is it in what you see, in what you hear, in what you feel? Or is it in what and who you know? You see, Jesus' faith, it's in his Father, because he knows the Father and he is one with the Father. And we must be one with Jesus, who is one with his Father. You see, this is the complete unity that Jesus prayed for. So let me ask you again, where is your faith? Is it in your friends? It is in your spouse, in your finances, your job? Maybe it's in yourself. Or is it in the one who calms the raging storm with a simple spoken command. The one who is one with the Father, our all-knowing, all-powerful, ever-present God. Friends, Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. That means whatever he was doing yesterday, he'll be doing the same thing tomorrow. So if you have a question about your future, look at your past. Did he sustain you? He will sustain you in your future too. You see, church, worry is useless because it's powerless to produce anything positive. And worry is needless because of God's bounty. And worry is senseless because of God's promise. And worry, church, it is faithless because, quite frankly, it's characteristic of unbelievers. You see, we have no problem believing that Christ conquered sin, that he conquered death, and that he saved us from an eternity apart from God. Yet we have so much trouble believing that he can simply get us through the next couple of days. Friends, the next time you're gripped with worry, just be still for a moment. Get in the presence of the Lord and take a moment to remember who God is. His love carries you through the deepest valley and the darkest places. Church, the surest way to find out if God can be trusted is simply to trust him. I do love you, church, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Have a great week.